No, I don't watch that. Okay, we're live.
All right, I'm going ahead and call the meeting for November 14th, 2018 to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would anybody like to do an invocation? Okay, roll call. Brenda Epp?
I'm here.
Gary Harris?
Here.
Robert Nobrega here. Alan Smith?
I am here.
I got a call from Bill Starnes stating he was ill, so he will not be here tonight. So I'm going to let Alan Smith take over for him when we get there.
Oh.
And Fire Chief Steve Rhodes.
Here.
Thank you. And if everybody's read the minutes for October 10th, 2018 meeting, if you have no changes to be made, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve minutes.
Okay, and the next.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And we can go ahead, we can work through this as a team because I know Bill does this usually. So I'm going to turn it over to Alan for the financial report.
All I have here is the beginning balance sheet here.
Okay.
$8,000, interest received 29 cents. Total deposits for $8,029. And you want me to read out the checks?
Well, I think because we posted, so I would just put the total paid out for
Total
checks.
paid out checks of $4,247.76. Pending balance as of 11/13/18, $11,541.87. Interest earned on the money market is $23.46. The ending money market balance for 11/13/18 is $176, $438.45.
Does anybody have any questions on any of the checks that were written?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so does Brent.
Okay.
This one, there was 2 pages, so we need to write, so we've got a check for one of them.
So who is this for?
It's for SDIS for our accidental health.
Insurance.
No, it's government. So
But-
there's one in there for 1233, and then there's a supplemental with the rest and one.
So the next one will be also to WHA, and it'll be 487?
Yeah, 487. But I don't see that this one adds up either, the public safety one. It's 264. Right.
There's a split.
It's on the second page. That's the one over
216, that's the 8.
Like, I don't get this to
Okay.
add up to that.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Because the total,
Like, even the
the
split.
total is right there. Okay, so why don't you guys pull that one out and have a review of it? That does not add up.
differences in
No.
here. Is it
I
including
have,
this also?
oh, you know what, there's a 47.
Yeah,
No, it might be including this
47.
other one.
Okay,
Yeah,
the 47.
It's including this other one.
Okay.
Did that add up?
That should-
I think that will.
You can give me the amount, Brenda, and I'll add them up, Fred.
Okay, 4797
And then
and
264.
6440 and 115.98.
115.
151. Back.
You got 26435.
Okay, so it's right.
38.
No, this is 35.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, she
We're good.
combines all the checks, which,
I can't.
it's neat that she does that, but at the same time, when I get around to VFA grant time, it doesn't help me at all. Because I need to have separate receipts for each one, so I have to go back and get through them. That's okay.
You have these receipts, right?
Yeah, I have receipts for myself.
Any more questions on the checks
So are we gonna just make a check for that alone right now?
for the 487?
Yeah. Is that what we decided to do?
That's a new, an additional bill that needs to be approved.
Yeah, there was 2 bills, and she made a check for this bill.
That's the
I had
WHA.
them stapled
Is that
together.
the WHA also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you see that too.
One's a disability, one's an accidental.
So do we need a motion to approve all the checks, including this additional?
Correct, yeah, I'll entertain a motion to approve the checks with an additional 487 to WHA Insurance for the bill that we missed.
I so move.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, that passed. I will turn it over the communication report to Jerry, please.
All right, website updates, most approved documents, meeting videos, minutes, water calls, treasurer's reports, chief's reports, and fire danger alerts. I posted a link to the chief's letter on insurance. That's posted on the website's homepage, and that's the letter that Steve mentioned at last month's meeting that he wrote. I also posted the 2018 report in lieu of audit on the financials page, and the first reading changes to the procedural policies were posted on the director's page. Scanned the website, including emails for viruses. There were no apparent viruses in email or on the website. No proposed change at this time. Always welcome any suggestions for improving the website. Communications with agencies, received texts of fire department 911 dispatches, received email newsletters from SDAO, received notices from DFPA, but I did not receive a notice about the end of fire season. Steve, did you happen?
I think I should have a copy of it. Yeah, I
You
got
have
I got
received
on my
it?
email, yeah.
Well, I found out about it through, I think, an article in the News Review, and when I saw that, which was a couple days after the end of fire season, I went ahead and posted it on the website.
Yeah.
But it surprised me, you know, usually there's a mass mailing, email that goes out, and I'm on that list to receive any changes about fire season.
I can ask Kyle, I got an email from him, it was strange, it was like at 10:30 at night, and it was happening that night at midnight, 12:01 or something, so
Oh.
maybe he was scrambling that day or something, I'm not sure.
Maybe, I don't know. Communications with the fire department, listed September water calls and report received from the chief. Communications with community, posted a public notice for the November board meeting in the newspaper, on the website, and at the fire station. Communications equipment, updated software on this computer. And the computer was having some problems. Was that just today, Steve? Or no, or was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. It was having some problems, and I know the latest version of the Windows 10 update had to be rescinded by Microsoft, and then they sent it out again. They pulled it back, and they're sending it out again because it's messing up a lot of computers.
Yeah, it crashed my personal laptop.
No,
That's 10, Windows 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been having trouble with Chrome. You ever messed with that?
Yeah.
Google Chrome? Trash my computers.
So anyway, it's probably a good idea to, if you're able to not have your Windows 10 automatically update, so that you can schedule it maybe for a day or two after the Security Tuesday or Patch Tuesday, as it's often called, second Tuesday of the month. If your computer is using Wi-Fi rather than being wired in, and you have the home version, there's a way through your Wi-Fi settings to say that you're on a restricted Wi-Fi, so that it won't automatically do the updates. And then you can just, you know, it'll let you know there's an update available, and you can decide when you want to go ahead and install the update. Okay, that's all for my report.
Thank you, Jason. Any public comments? Thank you. Steve, I'll turn it over to you, fire chief.
For October 2018, we had 12 calls, 2 medical calls, 1 structure fire response to Camas Valley, 3 motor vehicle accidents, 5 national cover responses, and 1 lift assist. cover incidents or illegal burns, that most of them had escaped, and then we had a flurry of them right as fire season ended before that last little rain. Search fire was mutual aid to Camas Valley. Fire season's over, but they've been having illegal burns get out, or not, now illegal burns getting away from them almost every day. The grass is still dry. There's green grass underneath the dry grass, but the grass is still dry, so please be careful. Cut a fire break to mineral soil, like they say, around the fire.
To mineral soil?
Well, they just a fire break
Okay.
around it. Unless, of course, you guys have that big green lawn that you can
Well-
have a little fire. So that's okay.
I've been trying little wet sedge pots or things.
It's just, when it catches into the grass, and the grass is burning, it burns right up to the tree line, and then it goes out because of the shade, but, we had 2 acres over in 10 Mile the other day, a couple acres here and there all around, so. Our training for the month included more defensive driving, the EVOC course is still set up there. We had a burn course from the Legacy of Manual, one of their nurses came down. They come down every other year and give us a pretty good course. We brought 10 Mile and some Camas folks over for that. We walked through the new gym in the existing school building 2 weeks ago, I think it was. A really nice facility, it's gonna be really nice. And they're saying they're trying to get it ready by Christmas. I don't think it's gonna make it. And they originally were gonna do an open house on January 9th or something. I don't know if that's gonna be made either, but they're trying to get the gym at least completed so they can do their Christmas play for Christmas, before Christmas break. So hopefully that'll happen. We had a hazmat refresher course with the Roseburg hazmat team came out the other night. And then I went out to that SDAO training in Cottage Grove, and it was a pretty good class about facility maintenance and what to look for, and also that kind of topped off the best practices, so I sent that in the day after I got back, and that's done. Just a note of training, tomorrow night, Dr. Bodenhammer from Mercy Hospital, who's our physician advisor, she's coming out to do a medical training from 7 to 9, so you know, if you guys, anybody wants to come and visit, they can, and see who it is. It's our physician advisor. Her kids go to Lookingglass school, and I know her a little bit from around town for other stuff with her husband, but really nice person. We conducted Fire Prevention Day for Lookingglass School last month. I think we had 9 people here helping that day. Did all the school kids over there. 4 of our folks have completed the wildland firefighter certifications. We went to the Veterans Day Parade last week. 2 of our members have got on this countywide critical incident stress management team, and we have a couple other ones that are going. So they're certified peer counselors now, not only for us, but for any other. They're on call for other departments around the county. And it's a 16-hour class on a weekend, so it's kind of a commitment, and then it's a real commitment if it ever happens, so we're proud of them. 2 of our firefighters have transferred to Sutherland. I talked about this at the Grange last night. What's going on at Sutherland is they're offering students tuition. They'll pay their tuition to go to UCC, and it's through the college. And they get, I think they get about 1,200 calls a year, maybe like 6-7 times as much as we do. So the kids are going up there. They're able to do sleepovers up there because they have dorms from before, and they're getting a lot of good experience up there. And I hate losing people, but as far as their careers, it's a great move. I'm encouraging them to go as long as I keep getting new ones back. So, but that is going on. Also, Sutherland just started responding to medical aids again, so some of our folks that are in the medical programs at UCC are also running medical aids with them up there during the day. We removed some personnel that were behind in training or attendance, or just it was kind of a big paperwork cleanup. DPSST sends out an annual cleanup showing exactly what their paperwork says every year about August, September, and it's due back by December 1st, so we just finished doing that.
How many do we remove?
We're right now at 18 firefighters and 5 explorers, 23 people total, and we were at We had 22 firefighters on paper, I think it's 7 Explorers, but that was a paperwork mess up. It should have been taken care of. It just wasn't getting through to DPSST. And Bob Scott's on top of it this year, so we're back to where we should be. The Explorers have been participating in all firefighter training tests. In fact, I'm supposed to be getting another Explorer here this Thursday, so that somebody's bringing along. We didn't have too many equipment problems this month. 1090, the emergency lights and stuff we ordered for it have been back ordered, and those are just coming in right now, so we're getting them done. The 1061, all of our units have battery reminder systems on them, and that one malfunctioned, and we got it repaired. Now that fire season's over, we're going to start doing the preventive maintenance that we do on all the units. We'll start taking them down one at a time, as we budgeted. And one of the good things about cleaning up all these folks that weren't on the roster is we're doing annual advanced cleaning and washing and inventorying of all our turnouts and our PPE gear. So that goes through the washing machine, gets hung up on the dryer outside, and then we have to keep records of everything when it gets washed, what we do with it, what needs to be repaired, that kind of stuff.
Did they all have turnouts and all that too?
They had stuff issued to them. They're all here. We did not lose any equipment. It's all here. We continue to receive VFA grant equipment. The last thing I have to have all invoices proof with receipts and everything by December 31st. The last thing we're waiting on is our new turnouts. They're due to be delivered mid-December, and I asked them to invoice us as soon as you could, so I'm going to guess it's going to be the 1st of December. Hopefully before that next meeting, so we can write a check for them. That's the last major purchase of the year. We actually realized some savings, especially with the thermal imaging camera, so we got to redo the grant a little bit. One thing we did do is I added an extra set of turnouts to it, which almost matches the savings we got off that thermal imaging camera. So we're still gonna be a little bit short of what they approved us for, so I'll probably throw a couple more flashlights or something on there just to something that they would approve. Let's see, facility maintenance, extinguishers are done. Eye washing facility safety inspection. Part of that summertime SDAO facility visit they made down here is doing monthly required safety inspections. So when we have our safety meetings now, we also go out and do an inspection of the facilities equipment, and then you have to have paperwork saying you did it. On the office stuff, the ISO letter was written and it's available, and that takes effect January 1st, 2019. When I came back and announced that a month ago, I never read the top line that said it doesn't take effect till January 1st. Okay? The annual renewal process for the, we just did accident and health. I just submitted the update for the property and liability insurance, which that bill will probably be coming around December 1st. I modified some of the amount of people on it and some of the other stuff. FEMA grants. The FEMA grant for the engine got submitted. The SCBA grant, when we got done doing it, and I was talking with a guy up in Washington, which is a representative for FEMA on the West Coast, this year, unless your SCBAs were broken or didn't work, at the last minute they decided that wasn't a high priority anymore. So although our SCBAs are 2 editions old, that was a high priority last year, but this year it's not because ours still work and other people's don't work. So we pulled that. So I applied all the money we paid for the grant writing, I applied to the fire engine. So we'll get that back if we get that grant. And then also, right at the same time, District 2 called me, and we're going to try to do a cooperative regional submission next year with District 2, Camas, 10 Mile, us, and Winston-Dillard to all get the same SCBAs, which, what a wonderful idea, actually something that we all have the same thing. Because right now we have different brands that are not compatible with each other, that kind of stuff. And we'll be able, like the grant writing that John Storm did for us, we can use that. Hopefully that'll get, the wording and everything we use and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna start the audit. Jerry talked about it, but with the reason, I got a bill the other day from the state saying it was late, and we owed them money, and the fact of the matter is it wasn't. I have a receipt, I have a letter, email confirming they received it, and every year, between the Secretary of State and whoever bills, there's some kind of lack of communication, so. I went down one a couple years ago, so everything's kept archived until then they come and send me a letter and then I send it right back to them, so. Best practices was all submitted, and so we'll get a 10% credit on the stuff that's eligible on our insurance. I did some Tyree oil tax exemption we have to do every year for our fuel purchases. I talked a little bit before the meeting outside of it, but for the public, we got a $4,300 and some check for past taxes for the last 10 years. It came in last week as a year end. Some of that money comes from liens on properties and foreclosure and that kind of stuff. We had a few of those last year. The county tax collector has become much more transparent on their reporting and stuff. I'm not sure why that's happened, but we have a lot more access to a lot more information. And something that's always been kind of it's always been out there is that we have tax money floating around out there that we don't receive every year because of things like liens and all that stuff. Nobody knows what we have, and so this report here gives us a good idea, at least out of all the tax revenue we got this year, what was actually floating out there that they repaid us on. And we talked about before the meeting, they have, the county takes a charge whenever there's foreclosures involved. They take a charge for collecting the money, so they charged us $143 or something for collecting all those taxes as part of the foreclosures. So the taxes that we get dispersed, the check doesn't match that. It's short $143. County Fire Chiefs meeting, we got a DPSST grant for $10,000 the County Fire Chiefs did. So some of it's going to be applied to the fiberglass trailer we use for maintenance. They're also looking at doing a server drain right now, and North County has a server with all online training for all our required training, where if a firefighter misses one of our training classes, they could go online, get on their server and take the class, and it'd be a standard class for the whole county. And it looks like that's what they're going to do with that money, so I think it's a pretty good idea. There's a lot of other things we need in the county, but that's a good one. Might help people progress faster. We're trying to keep up on the District 2 reorganized, brought some of their staff people back into the field, and they have one chief and 3 battalion chiefs now. There's only the one chief is actually in the staff as administrative officer, and Winston Dillard in District 2's contract was set to expire in December, and nothing had been done about it. So they just signed an extension until next June, and they brought in kind of a mediator to figure out which way they're going to go. And I just mention that because it's really important to us in our department that District 2 and Winston Dillard stay stable around us, because they're our mutual automatic aid partners, and it's really important. We'll try to support them. I got a meeting scheduled with Ron Bullock to get a lot more mutual aid and automatic aid information on the run cards for the dispatchers. And Roseburg's fire chief, Garrissey, the new chief down there, is much more receptive to doing mutual aid and automatic aid with us now for like the area from Military Avenue up to, say, Lookingglass Road here, because they've never participated in this before, so hopefully we can do that too. That's all I had on the report. Patricia is sitting here. I wish I would have had that on the report. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at her resume over the month or anything, but we had budgeted this year to have 6 hours a month of administrative assistant for me, and I would hope that you guys would approve that or recommend that. Now, this is our candidate here. I don't know if you have any questions for her or anything else, but
Do we need to do a motion on that?
I don't know, it's already been approved. I don't know if, and also this, We originally were talking about having an employee, but we were gonna do this as a contractor, as an economic benefit for us and her also. I don't know, whatever you guys think.
Does anybody have any questions first?
Well, I'd like to know, do you have a specific job description in terms of what our
It's gonna be-
responsibilities will be?
We have not written that out, but it's gonna be office administration, reports and records first. Anything else after that's gonna be correspondence and those kind of things. That's, when we originally planned this out, that's about what it takes to do the paperwork, the reports and the correspondence every month, is about 6 hours. So that would be the duties. I do not have a written one yet. We were gonna sit down and do that.
Is it like a specific number of hours per month?
6 was the maximum we approved.
That was the maximum, and that's fine with you?
Do you have any questions for us?
No.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Because I will entertain a motion to bring Patricia on as the office assistant at 6 hours a month as per our budget.
Well, I will move that.
And a second,
And is that an independent?
as an independent contractor who's paying 99. Correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And what I would like to do is, when she comes on board and you and her just take notes, and then we can build a,
I'm,
Now, what she's
I'm a
doing-
firm believer also in SOP for your office stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
SOP.
yeah, standard operating
oh, okay,
procedure.
okay.
Book. A book that says, you know, here, this is how you enter, this is where you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you'll help us with that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
We actually have one from the previous up there that we could amend, I mean, because she did a lot of other different things for us, but, that's, we were supposed to have met and done this already, and we have not made it, so I'm sorry.
Now, also, is there anything that needs to be done in terms of her signing any agreements for confidentiality or anything else, depending on the kinds of papers she's dealing with?
Should we have a written contract with you?
Sure.
Yeah. Also, she's also a volunteer with us, so we're gonna have a log making sure that there's a difference between what she's doing as administrative assistant and as a volunteer. As a volunteer, she's gone through our background check process and all that, just to let you guys know. So, okay, so let's go through that. We'll work together to create the SOP you're talking about, and also if you can whip up some kind of, not whip up, but provide us some kind of contract that we could sign.
Any questions? All right, so I have old business, donated items and proper documentation. So I spoke to Roy Palmer, and anybody that wants to donate to us, we can receive it in, we just need to make sure that it hits our inventory log.
So we don't have to do a formal motion to approve a donation?
No, he said that we can take a minute, as long as if it's something we're gonna use in the fire department, that we have to add it to the inventory. You've gotta have a record of what you did with it when it came in, even if it's cash, it's gotta be documented on who did it, what day, and then everything's good. So yes, I spoke to him.
Donated cash have to go in a certain place, or?
It's gonna have to go to the bank, and then you'll have to say general fund, and then say the receipt on it. Roy's a Costco member.
That's what I've been doing with that, by the way. I provide a written receipt to the people that are doing that with our tax ID number if they request it. A lot of them don't, so they have the ability to use it as right off if they want.
And then, I'm gonna turn it over to Jerry for this. Oh, good.
Before we do that, just one thing, Steve, I didn't see it in your report, but I believe you mentioned to me the other day that you had sent a facility use agreement form
Right,
to the county.
Steve, I keep forgetting his last name. He's in charge of the roads department of the public works. So, Rich knows him, and we've talked about it before, so I haven't received it back yet, but so the county has that form. I still gotta get one at Knife River. And I don't think giving it to one of these guys, the way to do it is to go down to their, office on Highway 99, because giving it to somebody just driving in here is not gonna do anything.
Thank you. All right, I'll turn it over to Jerry now for the second reading of the amendments and the procedural policies, facility and maintenance.
All right, I had not received any suggestions for making changes to what was presented at the first reading last month. So I could just, quickly go over the same thing, just what the amendments are. I did hand out to all of you a copy of the complete version of the newly amended procedural policies. If it's approved, then you'll be able to put it into your binder. So what we are amending is Article 3, Section 1, acquisitions, A, facilities and maintenance. We're adding a Roman numeral to that paragraph, so it's paragraph 1, which is the same paragraph that was in the previous version of procedural policies. And we are adding in all of Section 2 and Section 3 under the A, facilities and maintenance. So 2, Roman numeral 2 is district building preventative maintenance policy, purpose to define clear expectations for the preventative maintenance of district buildings. This policy will include critical areas to be inspected and a schedule of when to conduct these inspections. The district will decide who will conduct these inspections and provide training as necessary. The inspections will use a property maintenance checklist as approved by board motion and attached. And I may not have given you a copy of the property maintenance checklist, but I think I had emailed it to everybody last month.
Yeah.
So you should have a copy. And we had done an amendment to it. I think we modified a couple things. So I have that here. Okay, B, schedule, small Roman numeral 1, district buildings will be inspected throughout the year. That will include daily, monthly, quarterly, and during inclement weather. First item is routine inspections should be conducted by all employees when on premises. These inspections will be done visually. Visual inspections are simply taking note of something that does not look correct and making sure to report it to the fire chief or designee who will complete a checklist. Monthly inspections will be conducted by maintenance personnel. This inspection should be comprehensively documented. The district will provide a checklist of items that should be viewed. Any recommendations will be made to the fire chief or designee. Quarterly, safety committee, and Stephen mentioned last month that there is an existing safety committee as part of the fire department. The safety committee will conduct quarterly inspections of the buildings per Oregon OSHA rule 437, 001, 0765, parentheses 7. Once they have completed their inspection, these should be compared to the monthly inspections. Any recommendations will be made to the fire chief or designee. Inclement weather, when the district is aware of forecasted storm, the fire chief or designee will conduct a preventative inspection to make sure the facilities are ready. Once the storm has passed, the fire chief or designee will conduct another inspection to identify any damage or repairs that need to be made. Any recommendations for repairs will be made to the fire chief or designee. C, building maintenance, small Roman numeral 1. Following areas should be looked at during the documentation inspections. Outdoors, and that includes roof, gutters, scuppers, downspouts, direct water away from the building, doors, seals, caulking, exterior wall conditions, holes, paint, siding, exterior lighting cameras, parking lots, light poles, emergency backup generators, vegetation trimmed away from buildings, foundation, combustibles away from buildings, exposed piping. Next section is indoors, emergency lighting, HVAC systems, filters, batteries, and thermostats, water intrusion, moisture issues, storage areas, interior wall conditions, electrical panels, attics. D is training, Roman small Roman numeral 1, the district will conduct annual training for staff that includes refreshing staff of items to be viewed or any new buildings or conditions they should be aware of. Refresher training should occur if a property claim is filed. Large Roman numeral 3, facility used by non-district personnel. At times it may be appropriate to permit use of the district's facilities by non-district personnel from government and non-government agencies. Examples include use by county road repair vehicles, sheriff's vehicles, private road and building repair vehicles, school buses. Such use shall not interfere with any activities of district personnel. B, use of facilities by non-district personnel requires the approval of district management and completion of a property facilities use agreement as approved by board motion and attached, and that was previously approved by board motion. That was attached. Does anybody have any questions or see anything that they think might need to be changed?
Did yours have any, mine had some squares instead of slash marks and stuff, maybe it's just a training, I might have got it.
Oh, it might be who work using a different,
Yeah, it was. Okay.
if you're using Microsoft Word, you know, if you're looking at the document versus LibreOffice or something like that, yes, the outlining of Roman numerals or dots versus squares, that can look different. I don't consider that a critical
If you
issue
just read over it.
in terms
you
of the
didn't see 'em.
formatting.
Yeah. If you just read over and didn't see them, then that means yours is right.
And these go in folder, our binders?
Okay, once we have approved these amendments, this has been inserted into the copy that I have you. So if we approve that, then yes, those can be added to your binder, and Brenda has a copy that could then be used to replace the old copy that's in the operations manual where all of our policies are kept.
Any questions? All right, so I will entertain a motion for approval of the amendments to the procedural policies, facilities, and maintenance.
I move to approve the amendments as presented.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, thank you.
And just next on the agenda would be the additional bids for the security camera. Do we have a chance to get those?
I have not gotten a bid for that. But that grant was due November 16th. We got it in early, so we won't hear about whether we got it till after then, but then we should be getting additional bids. I have not that many.
Okay. So we put that off till next month.
So we have the one that he gave
I think
us.
we've got
So
one.
I'm gonna look at, so if I'll put that out and have something comparative, or else ask them what they think compared to what he said.
Yeah. See if they'd be competitive, because they might not even want to give you a quote if he's competitive. Next on the agenda was the office assistant, which we've already taken care of. So I will go to number 8, which would be new business. My question is, are we gonna do a Secret Santa this year? I think we did one last year. I know we did one, maybe we didn't. We did one the year before.
We did last year. I think we ended up doing a late one.
Was it dispersed through so many different families or something like that last year? Was that last year?
We ended up, last year the school never provided us with any names, so I forget what happened. We did something, I think we bought some food cards or something.
All right. Well,
It's that time. I'll talk with Lindsay, because she usually works with them.
okay.
We were talking about possibly doing something for I understand that they got all kinds of donations for the new gym.
Okay.
But we were talking about doing something for the school itself as they reopen or something, books or who knows what.
Yeah, if they
I'll have to
reopen
contact them.
before our next meeting, it'd be great to know to give them our support.
Yeah.
Just show up. Anybody have anything else? Excuse me. I have nothing, so if anybody has nothing from the board,
Yeah.
Are you good? Okay, thank you. So our next meeting is gonna be 12/12/2018. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor? Second? All in favor? Thank you.
Everyone